Hi, everyone. It's Michael P. Spradlin. I'm back with another chapter today of Into the Killing Seas, Chapter 6. All the previous chapters are available on my Facebook page, which you can find by searching Michael P. Spradlin. It's Michael P. Spradlin, by the way. But you'll find all of the videos starting with the prologue of Into the Killing Seas, and I'm joining with other authors all around the globe that are reading their works online, just as a way for us to help out during this period. And I give all teachers, educators, librarians my blanket permission to use this book or any of my books in your classes, online, recorded, read aloud, however, until we all get through this crisis that we're facing. So I'm going to read chapter 6, and then I'll be back tomorrow with chapter 7. And I hope all of you are doing well, that you're safe. Please remember, be kind. Check in on your neighbors from a safe social distancing distance. And let's all pull together because we're all in this together. All right, let's watch out for each other. Here we go with chapter 6, One Last Thing. Down I went. I was wrapped in an air bubble, but I didn't dare try to breathe. On Guam, I'd heard sailors talk about this very thing happening. When a ship sunk, it created suction all around it, and it pulled down anything that was near. I used to go by the port and listen to the sailors tell stories to each other. One day, a guy had been talking about being aboard the USS Hammond, which had sunk in the Battle of Midway. Got caught in the air bubble, he said. That old tub wanted to pull me right down to Davy Jones's locker with her, but I said, "No, thank you, Captain Jones," and managed to kick my way back up. Almost didn't make it. I realized that was what was happening to me. Pieces of debris from the ship, chunks of wood and broken railings, were rising up from below like rockets shooting into the sky and crashing into me. Murky, dark masses clouded the water. Leaking diesel fuel, I guess. But strangely enough, I could see something past it, the fire still raging through the portholes of the ship. There must have been some air left in the dogged-off sections of the interior. The flames continued as the giant iron beast sank slowly to the ocean floor. Other than the soft glow of the firelight, the ocean was black as night. I tried mightily to pull myself upward, but the suction was far too strong. I felt helpless and tired. I pumped my legs until I had no strength left. I kicked and kicked. It was no good. My legs were exhausted, and I sank even deeper into the dark water. I'm not sure when the realization came to me I was going to die. What does somebody do when they're going to die and they know it? From the first night the Japanese attacked Guam, and for the next 2 years, I'd seen or known someone who died nearly every day. I never really wondered what they thought about when it was happening to them. Some of them cried, some shrieked, some of them accepted their death quietly. Some, like Sister Felicity, never knew what hit them. It was just the end, and that was all. I guess I just put it out of my mind, never figuring what I'd do when my time came. I didn't know what to do. Should I pray? If Sister Mary Teresa were there, she'd say I should ask God for forgiveness of my sins. Should I apologize to my mother because I hadn't done what I'd promised? I hadn't taken care of Teddy like she asked me to? What would happen to Teddy? Would he drown in the heaving ocean as I was about to? I thought about a million things in those few seconds. My lungs were about to burst. I couldn't hold my breath any longer. My eyes were burning from the salt water and I wanted to cry. But I was afraid to even do that. I would hold on to my last breath. Someday, when we met in heaven, my mother would know I tried. To my last breath, I tried. Then I heard it, the faint sound of a familiar voice calling my name. Something came over me. That voice was calling me home. It pleaded with me, and I couldn't resist answering. I started pushing and kicking against the water with energy that I'd have sworn I didn't have. At last, the air bubble separated from the relentless downward pull of the ship, and I darted towards the surface. Below me, the last flickering flames of the ship were fading to black. Faster and faster, I sped upward until I burst out of the water and shot several feet into the air before I splashed back down again. Like those broken pieces of the ship that had bombarded me only moments earlier, the sea had swallowed me, and now it was spitting me back out. I sucked in a great, heaving lungful of air before a wave crashed into me, knocking me under again. But nothing was pulling me down now, and I kicked my way back to the surface. It was still dark, and I couldn't see anything. I furiously treaded water, and then I heard that familiar voice again. "Patty boy! Patrick O'Donnell of Detroit, Michigan! You call out! Sound off right now!" Benny bellowed. His voice was hoarse and raw, like he'd just swallowed broken glass, but he was shouting as loudly as he could. I'm here, Benny. Patty boy? I'm here. Another wave crashed into me, knocking the words from my mouth. I tumbled over in the water again. I decided right then that I really hated the ocean. Really hated it a lot. I emerged again and tried to get my rhythm with the rising and falling waves so I didn't get swamped every second. Benny was still yelling my name. Patrick! I'm here, Benny. I'm here. Where are you, Pipsqueak? In the ocean somewhere. It's pitch black. How am I supposed to know where I am? I was still a little shook up from almost drowning. I probably shouldn't have taken it out on Benny, but still. Patty boy, you got to try to swim to my voice. Come on now, you can do it. I can, Benny. Too tired. I almost drowned. I can't. Like Benny, like always, Benny refused to give up. You listen to me. You will not drown in this ocean. Benjamin Franklin Poindexter, Private First Class, United States Marine Corps, will not allow it. Is that clear to you, Marine? You will promise me right now, at this very moment, that you are not going to drown. You are going to survive. Is that clear? Sound off. Benny had turned into his old self. Well, maybe his old self if he'd ever become a drill instructor. When I didn't answer right away, he started cursing again and calling my name. I kept trying to tread water, but I was so tired. If only I'd gotten my hands on one of those life jackets. Patrick, Benny croaked again. The more he yelled, the worse his voice got. Benny, I can't swim anymore, I said, bobbing on another wave. You can't swim anymore? Well, cry me a flippin' river, sport. You think you got problems? I'm stuck on a lousy hunk of wood with your screaming brother. I dang near got my face burnt off. So don't you sing to me none of your sob stories about how bad you got it. There's about 1,000 men in the ocean right now that would trade places just to be as bad off as you, or worse. And that ain't counting the ones already dead. So you just quit your belly aching and you swim toward the sound of my voice. You do it now. You hear me, Marine? Before I even realized what I was doing, I was dog paddling toward his voice. I don't know how to swim, Benny. I'm afraid. You don't know how to swim? You think I had a pool in the backyard of my third-floor walk-up in the Bronx? You kick with your legs and paddle with your hands. It ain't algebra. Now, my hands and face ain't worth a plug nickel, but my legs is working, and me and Teddy is going to kick our legs and push this pallet toward you. You keep hollering, and I'll do the same. Follow my voice, then we'll meet in the middle. I didn't answer because I was concentrating hard on not being dunked because beneath the waves and trying to figure out where Benny was in the swirling blackness of the dark sea. Patty boy, you hear me? Yeah, Benny, I'm here. I can't see nothing. You got to keep shouting so I know which way to swim, you rockhead. I can't. I was out of breath and dipping underwater again. If something didn't happen soon, I wasn't going to make it. The starting lineup for the 1940 Detroit Tigers. You shouted out to me. That's an order, Marine. I was spent. My arms stopped moving. Each one felt like it weighed 1,000,000 pounds. A part of me wanted to just slip beneath the water. But then I heard Teddy. Benny was somewhere close by because Teddy's ever-present wailing carried over the water. Come on, Patty boy. You think them Motor City Kitties is so much better than the Bronx Bombers? Give me that lineup. Who played catcher? Bertie Tebbetts, I shouted back. First base. Rudy York, Benny shouted. Yeah, Rudy York. Couldn't field a ground ball with a shovel, and he was still better than that bum Greenberg, who couldn't carry the Iron Horse's jockstrap, by the way. In your dreams, I shouted back. I started paddling again. Second base. Charlie Gehringer, I shouted. Third base. I tried to remember. My brain wasn't working right. Bartell, Dickie Bartell, I hollered. Shortstop. Pinky Higgins. Right field. Benny sounded closer, and Teddy's voice was growing louder out there in the darkness. Petey Fox, then Bruce Campbell after the trade, I shouted back. Center field, Benny shouted. He was close now, and as I rose on a wave, I thought I could see the dim outline of two figures in the water moving toward me. Barney McCoskey, I yelled. Left field, Hank Greenberg. And he won the MVP after moving to left field from first base so the team could trade for Rudy York. Did the Iron Horse ever win MVP at two different positions, Benny? I still say he's a bum, Benny's hoarse voice calls back. Who's going to be your starting pitcher if you got to win one game, Pipsqueak? Come on now, we're close. I can tell. Don't you dare give up. I was nearly out of breath and my legs were cramping badly, but Benny's voice sounded closer, and Teddy's cries were nearly drowning him out. Just a little longer, I thought to myself. Patty, who's your starting pitcher? Bobo Newsom. I was panting and could hardly speak anymore. No, wait. Bobo had a better record that year, but I'd give the ball to Schoolboy Rowe. The pressure wouldn't... I never got to finish. A wave rose up and the pallet crashed into me, nearly knocking me under again. And there they were, Benny and Teddy. Teddy even stopped crying when he realized it was me. All I could see in the darkness were the whites of their eyes. I grabbed the pallet and managed to pull myself up onto it, so only my legs hung in the water. You'd make a lousy manager, Pipsqueak, Benny said, picking schoolboy over Bobo. Madness. Everybody knows you got to ride the hot hand. And that's the end of that chapter. Be back tomorrow with chapter 7. Thanks for watching.